Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 101 and today I am back into the realm of YouTube. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it has been around about 12 days since I last recorded a video. And boy oh boy, do I feel rusty right now. I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like I don't know, I feel like this is going to be a bit of a struggle, okay? So what I'm going to do, in today's episode, we're going to be doing things just a little bit differently. We are going to be mixing things up just a little bit today, because I'm going to try and do like a walk and talk episode. I'm going to try my best to just sort of walk along, chat to you guys, do some bits on camera, try and keep the number of jump cuts and progress updates to a minimum, and basically get back into the swing of things, essentially. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's episode. I have no idea how well that is going to go. I'm probably going to start stumbling over my words, start messing up left, right, and center. It's already feeling very warm in my room right now. I've got all of my pillows up, of course. You know, now that I've got my soundproofing, I still need to have pillows. But currently, it's very cold outside, so the heating is on full blast. And already, after 12 days of YouTube, I've forgotten just how warm it gets when you're recording a video. It seriously gets like ridiculously warm in this room. I think I might be like in the most heated room in my house. I seem to have tons of radiators and things. So yeah, it gets absolutely boiling in here while I'm recording. But I'm going to be pushing on because in today's episode, as I say, we're just going to be relaxing. We're going to be chilling it out and doing a little bit of building on camera. I'm going to try my best to do some work over in the village. Okay guys, I will admit that was jump cut number 1, as I did just say right at the beginning there. Trying my best to keep the jump cuts to a minimum, but the heated situation, I just couldn't deal with it. It was so hot. So what I've decided to do is A, obviously I have now turned off the heating. That is all fine. But B, the most important thing is I've done a bit of a change of clothes here. It's the first change of clothes I think I've ever done during a Hermitcraft episode. But I was wearing a shirt and jeans, which was extremely warm. Do we not have any bones? Oh, thank you. Wow, I got a little bit worried then. I definitely need to do some AFKing over here because we are running low on resources at the minute. But yeah, as I said, I was wearing jeans and a shirt, which was pretty warm. I was getting pretty toasty over there, so I've now changed out into some slightly more summery clothes, I guess you could say. I'm now in shorts and a t-shirt. So we should be good to go. We should be ready to rock and roll here. And what I'm doing is I'm currently in the process of gathering up some resources because, funnily enough, I actually thought I haven't been over to the village in a very long time indeed. And I completely forgot what the houses look like. I thought they were made out of oak wood. Turns out I was very wrong. They are completely made out of spruce wood. So I've got some bone meal and I've got myself some spruce wood saplings. My axe is on its way out, but I'm sure we're going to be fine. So I'll just do a bit of this action and then we'll just bone meal this. And there we go. Wow, that is a mighty big one. Sweet. Okay, that should provide us with plenty. That's like 2.5 stacks there. So anyway, while we do this, I have got just a little bit of news for you, I guess. It's just a little bit of a news. Of course, we are now post-operation, all right? Because, of course, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who are like new to the channel or haven't heard the news yet, the reason that I haven't been doing YouTube for the past 12 days, despite the fact that you probably won't have noticed, because, of course, you know, there's videos been rolling out. They were pre-recorded. My mum actually had an operation. She had an operation for breast cancer. It all happened so ridiculously quickly. We had no idea. And then she went in for like a routine checkup, and then they noticed something that was like a little bit off. So they did like a few tests and everything like that. We got the results back. They were like, oh God, it's breast cancer. And my mum obviously was quite upset. I was quite upset as well. And they just put her straight into surgery. And then they removed it, or at least we think that they've removed it at the minute. The results are going to be coming back in the next couple of weeks. And, you know, we're in like a little bit of like a nervous period right now. Has it been removed? Has it not? But right now, the doctors are saying that the operation was brilliant. We caught the breast cancer extremely early. So it should, fingers crossed, be absolutely fine. Okay, obviously, I'll try my best to keep you guys up to date. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, you will have been very up to date. You'll know all of this already, so that's absolutely fine. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on. And it's been a little bit crazy, a little bit manic, obviously, over the past couple of weeks. I've just been at home looking after my mum, which is the way that I was going to be doing things. So I have not touched YouTube at all. It's really strange. Haven't looked at any comments, haven't really been reading through all the comments or the tweets or anything like that. I've been completely away from the whole thing. And it feels so strange coming back to it, looking through everything, seeing all of the new subscribers and things like that, reading through the comments of the previous videos and things. Very, very odd, but it is nice to be back. I'm so happy to be back. I really did miss YouTube over those past couple days. So I'm feeling pretty good about this whole situation right now. But on top of the drama of all of that going on, so of course my mum had the operation, everything was fine there. Well, let's hop out of the minecart that I was going to fall back down to the bottom then. But yeah, on top of all of that drama, Benji, my cat, the complete spoon, decided that he was going to bite through his own lip. Now what on earth? Sorry, I'm going to just take a moment here and say, what on earth kind of cat does that? Like, cats are meant to be sort of smart, elegant, you know, they're meant to be like the slightly intelligent ones. He just completely bit through his own top lip. It was the silliest thing in the world. So I came home and I was like, Benji, you look a bit weird. You know, I looked at him and he looked a little bit like Harvey Two-Face, you know, when he's got like one side of his mouth is like missing, so it like hooks upwards a little bit. He also looked a little bit like Sylvester Stallone with just like his wonky face. And I was just like, Benj, you look a bit weird. What have you done now? So we took a closer look. I thought it dislocated his jaw. Okay, that's how bad it was. I was like, Benji has definitely dislocated his jaw here. So I was a little bit worried there. But we decided to take him to the vet. Of course, that seemed like a pretty sensible option. And he sort of unhooked Benji's mouth from his tooth. Because it turns out that his own mouth was hooked over his own tooth, and his tooth was poking out the other side of his mouth. It was a pretty disgusting situation, and I can imagine it was really, really painful for poor little Benji. But that seemed like it had fixed it, and then we got home, and he managed to do it again. And what has essentially happened is that Benji had created a hole, just a big old hole going right the way through his mouth, and his tooth just kept popping through this hole. Now, that's quite a big deal, okay? That's not good. And the vet had no idea what to do because he was like, I have never seen this before. Your cat is clearly really very stupid because, generally speaking, dogs do this sort of thing occasionally, but we've never seen it happen with a cat. So I was like, great. So not only has my cat got some form of, like, stupid thing that's happened, but he's also the only cat that's ever done it because he is just extraordinarily stupid. So we spoke to the vet for a while. He was coming up with some ideas. We got some anti-inflammatory stuff. We unhooked the lip again, and we were like, yeah, we'll play it by ear. We'll see what happens. Obviously, we get home, and Benji has completely rehooked his lip once again. So we went back to the vet. Each time, as well, was costing a bunch of money. So thankfully, Benji is insured medically, because otherwise this would have been very expensive indeed. And they suggested that they try gluing it up. So they got some of that, like, glue stuff. The skin glue. I don't know really what it's called. Obviously, it's not like a Pritt stick or like PVA glue. They use specific glue for it. And they glued his mouth up. And we were like, okay, that's going to work. Benji looks a little bit silly now, but that's going to definitely work. Of course, unfortunately, as these stories always go, it didn't work. Okay, Benji still was getting his lip stuck up on his tooth. And yeah, it just wasn't brilliant, really. It was a really bad situation. He was obviously very upset at this point because he now had like a massive piercing. This hole was getting really quite large. So we took him back to the vet and they performed surgery on him. So we had 2 surgeries in 1 week. We had my mum and we also had Benji. And thankfully, Benji's one appears to have been fairly successful. Now, what they've decided to do is they have to... I just let you know, I'm trying my best to build here, but I might get things wrong. We're just going to have to wait and see. But what Benji has done is he has had part of his face removed and then they've stitched it upwards. So they've sort of taken a bit off his face and then stitched up that wound to move his mouth out of the way. It's very, very strange, but it sounds a lot worse than it is because I can't really tell. He's got a bit of like a hole in the side of his face and you can definitely tell something's been going on. It's like a little bit screwed up, as in one side of his face looks quite angry. But other than that, it seems to be okay. I think I've posted a few pictures on Instagram. If not, I've definitely posted them on Twitter. So you will have seen it there. But it's a very odd procedure. They said they've never done this before. This was like completely experimental. So we'll have to play it by ear and see how it goes. But at the minute, Benji is absolutely fine. He doesn't appear to have put his tooth through his lip again, which is all good. So I'm pretty happy. Benji's obviously very happy about the whole thing because he now has a mouth that doesn't hook onto his own teeth. So it's all going well. Both surgeries appear to have been successful. It's just been a really, really stressful week. It's been a really stressful week, which is why I'm just having this chilled out episode of Hermitcraft where we're just playing along and placing some blocks as we go. We're not doing the progress updates today. Wow, guys. I am really struggling today with recording. I don't know what it is. I think it's just getting back into the swing of things. I'm really struggling to record things. I'm not on my usual form. Words aren't coming out quite as smoothly as they usually do. Hopefully I'll get back onto my normal form because otherwise I'm going to have a bit of a problem. Oh! That hasn't changed, has it? That always happens. I'm back on the Hermitcraft server, creating creeper holes. Oh, man, just when I was getting back into it as well. Right, let's cover all of this up. As I was saying, yeah, I don't know, like, it's really strange. It's only been 12 days, but I feel like I've lost, like, 3 years worth of learning how to make YouTube videos because my ability to speak seems to have just gone right the way down the drain. I suppose we're not going to be using gravel here. We just have to use cobblestone instead. But anyway, we're going to be moving on from all of the surgery bits and things like that because, of course, they're interesting. They are interesting, but they're not exactly bright and happy, are they? So what I thought I'd talk to you guys about instead is I thought I would discuss with you my game design, because game design, funnily enough, now that I'm at home, not recording videos, but I am still at home, because of course, you know, my mum's just down the hall, I'm looking after, I have been doing like a ton of game design, and I've been making loads of progress on my little game. For those of you who are on the Patreon server, you will know about this, because what happens is I hop onto the Patreon server, then I start game designing at the same time, and then unfortunately I just never end up speaking to anyone on the Patreon server. They're all like, Mumbo, what's this? And then I see it about 2 hours later when I suddenly realise that, oh, I'm still logged on the Patreon server, I've completely forgotten. So that's sort of how that's been going. But I have been having an absolute blast. One thing that I found with game design is if you stop doing it for a little while, you completely lose it. It's a bit like YouTube, I suppose, with what I'm doing right now. Once you sort of stop doing it for a little while, you really struggle, I suppose, to get back into the swing of things. A lot of the things don't come quite so naturally, like you're writing out the scripts and things like that, and it's taking you considerably longer than it would have done beforehand. So now that I've had like a full week of just solidly doing it, I've made so much more progress than what I was doing beforehand, where I was sort of doing it every other day or so, because that was a bit of a struggle. You know, you'd stop one day and then you'd come back to it the next day and you'd look around and you'd be like, what on earth is all of this? Like, what sort of mess is this programming? I have no idea what any of these things do. What on earth's going on here? And all that sort of thing. So now that I've been doing it solidly for the past couple of days, I've made a ton of progress. And unfortunately, I'm not going to give you too many spoilers about what my game is all about, simply because I am sort of considering maybe releasing it, maybe. Now, I don't want to get your hopes up too high, because at the minute it's far from done whatsoever, and I will just straight up say that obviously, A, it's my first game, it's not particularly fantastically amazing, but more importantly, B, it's just a simple one. It's just a really simple game that's going to be available on mobile, and that's basically how it's going to go. If I was to release it, it would be releasing on mobile. It definitely wouldn't be like a full-blown PC game, because quite frankly, there's just not enough content on there for it to be a PC game. But it would just be like a silly little game that you could play perhaps on the toilet. That's when most mobile gaming seems to go down, or on the train or something like that. And I don't know, like, I actually really like the concept of the game. I think it's a cool idea. It's simple, but it's quite a cool concept. It's a little bit different. I haven't seen any games like it on the App Store or anything like that, which is quite a big deal for me. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just copying some other game. And I know it's one of my first games. I probably should have just tried copying something just to get into the swing of things of game design and things like that. But I fancy doing something completely different, and I suppose that is a bit of a challenge, because there's been a few things that, of course, there are no tutorials for or anything like that. Like, there are a few mechanics that I worked for ages on because I had no idea how to do them, but I managed to work through them now, and now it's like the brute force stuff. Like, I've got all of the main game mechanics working, I've got all of the player animations working, I've got all of the main scripting done. Now I just have to create all of the different assets and things like that. That's going to be like the long-winded part, I suppose, and also add mobile input in, because at the minute it's controlled by the keyboard. There's no mobile input, so that could be tough. That could be a lot more challenging than I think it's going to be. But at the minute, progress is good, and as I say, I would actually keep your eyes out for games being released on the Mumbo Jumbo channel, which is something that I never really thought I'd say, because I always thought that my games were a little bit rubbish. But this one, as I say, is going a little bit better than the other ones, so who knows? You're going to have to keep your eyes peeled on that one. But anyway, as you can see here, we have sort of created a house. I know that this has been like the longest period of time of creating a single house on my channel. Seriously, generally speaking, that will be done in one jump cut. So I apologise for those of you who watch my videos for those sorts of progress updates and things. I promise you, they're going to be returning. But at the minute, I was just really fancying having a chat to you guys and just chilling out for a little while. You know, it's very rare that I chill out with you guys and just talk. Which is strange because, you know, I'm a YouTuber and I've got 800,000 subscribers, which is a lot of subscribers, I might add. I'm very, very proud of that one. But I feel like, you know, we don't get enough catch-up time. I don't know if you make sense. I don't know if you feel that way. But I feel like, you know, I do redstone tutorials, which obviously I'm not going to catch up with you guys in that. I'm not going to start talking about my day and things in those redstone tutorials. But also in my Hermitcraft episodes, a lot of the time it is, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. It's very rare that I actually talk about what's going on in my personal life, partly because, generally speaking, it's pretty boring. But occasionally, I feel like I want to update you guys on what's going on. So here is the house. The house is done. I'm not going to add anything on the inside just because, you know, I don't fancy doing that at the minute. But that is that one. So we're going to be leaving the village behind now. I'm going to be moving away from here. There are a few redstone designs that I really want to do. What we're going to do is actually, I might as well let you know. I might as well take you over there. Just because this clip, I might add, is going far better than any of the other ones. I think I'm finally getting back into the swing of things now. I'm finally starting to work out how to do this whole YouTube commentary thing. But what I thought we'd do is, of course, we have got like this new area that we have been working on in the base. You guys have seen it. Is that a creep? No, it's my own pumpkin thing. Wow, I completely forgot I had those things, and that got me really scared then. But anyway, as you guys know, I've been working on this area right here. Now, this place is pretty massive. Okay, we've got all of the sugarcane farms in. I still haven't hooked those up to the hopper clock. But we have all of this space here. And in this space, we're going to be putting the melon and the pumpkin farms. And I thought I would try my best to design them in today's episode. Now, I hate to say it, I have not touched redstone for the past couple weeks. Okay, it's been at least 12 to 14 days since I've done any form of redstone. So it could be a challenge, okay? It could be a massive challenge here. This might take me hours. It might take me a few minutes. Who knows? I might have just completely lost all of my redstone skills, which will be very concerning indeed. But yeah, I'm going to try my best to build a melon and pumpkin farm in this sort of space. So we have got 8 blocks across, and we have got 4 blocks to play with in terms of height. I'm sure we'll be able to do it. I'm going to try and come up with a few designs, try and work out what I'm going to do here, and then I'll catch you guys in a little bit. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is the melon farm that I have created. As you can see, this is all of the redstone behind it. You know, it's pretty simple. I think it's going to fit in really well in my... I'm just kidding, of course. This is, in fact, the little melon farm that I've created. As you can see, it's absolutely tiny. That's the whole point, really. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to chuck in the seeds. The seeds are going to be going in over here. And, of course, actually, we need some bone meal for those. So let's just type that in. And we'll get those all grown up. But yeah, this is the melon farm that we're going to be building. You know, I was really worried about how complicated the redstone was going to be. Yeah, no, I think I'm fine with these sorts of redstone contraptions. So basically what's going to happen is if we grab ourselves some melons, they're going to grow in these locations right here. And then we will run some power through, and there we go. All of the melons just blast out. And you know what I'm thinking, actually? To try and prevent all of those melons just blasting out, we could either use slime blocks, which would be a bit of a challenge because then we'd have to push the slime blocks out, then push the dirt back out once it's been retracted. I suppose that's possible. I suppose we could do that. Am I going to try and do it on camera? I suppose I can also try and do it on camera, despite the fact that my mind is telling me that this might be a bit of a mistake. So let's try and get this actual mechanic up and running. So we're going to have the slime block. There's going to be right there. And of course that means that our melon is just going to be launched outwards, right? It's going to be launched right the way out there. That's going to need to be an immovable object. My inventory really is poor because I wasn't really planning on doing any of this. So we need that to go there. And then this needs to be powered. But that one needs to be on a redstone torch. I think I've had an idea of how to do that. In fact, I think I've had a pretty good idea straight away off the bat. And that is to use an upside down half slab running into that piston there. And then, you know what? I think we might have actually just come up with something pretty cool there. So that's redstone there. And then we'll have our redstone torch down at the bottom. Now, because that's a half slab, it shouldn't power this one when it is powered. Let's just give it a go. We did it! Straight away. Okay, so that's going to be how we do the modules. Wow, this is, honestly, that's gone so much better than I expected. So yeah, basically what we're going to have is we are then going to have that going right the way across. So that'll be sticky pistons all the way across here. If you're wondering how I do my redstone, this is basically how I do it. I try things, and if they don't work, I try something slightly different. Like with this one, we're going to have to try and do something slightly different. I keep also getting rid of my slime blocks, which isn't so good. But yeah, we're going to have to do something slightly different here because, of course, we have a slightly different setup. But essentially, our redstone will run across like this. In fact, this is a really smart way of doing things. So our redstone will run across like that. And then we'll have redstone torches on the sides of these ones, which this is where our regular pistons are going to be going. So we'll have a regular piston there and a regular piston there. And then we need a redstone torch there, regular piston there. I'm already going back into tutorial mode. That's good. I haven't lost that ability. That's absolutely fine. And then that is where our final sticky piston is going to be going with our slime blocks. So we can just replace that. And there we go. So that is the system. We'll chuck in the rest of the redstone. And when it harvests, hopefully everything will be working. Oh, I just broke everything because of the immovable objects. It's really frustrating, slime blocks doing that. But there we go. That's what that's going to look like. So, cool, I suppose. I mean, I'm quite surprised that we've managed to get a working slime block version, because in theory, if I just quickly get my hoe out, and we'll quickly chuck these seeds back in. Now, if we chuck some melons down, instead of sort of exploding out everywhere, they should explode in that direction, which will mean they will always land in the water. Yes, look at that. That is going to be lossless. There is no way any melons are going to be disappearing from this one. Let's do another check. They go so far. Wow, look at that. Excellent news. Alright, so that is the new melon farm that we are actually going to be building on the server. That's what I'm going to be building in that new area, and that should work absolutely fine. I think our height requirement is perfect. That's okay. So then the next module will be up on this level right here, which is, yeah, that's brilliant. Oh no, is it up there? I have a feeling it's up there. I hope it's up there, because otherwise we're going to get a powering issue. But I think it is up there. Hang on, let's just hop back onto the Hermitcraft server and we'll take a look. Yep, it's up there. That is perfect. Alright, okay, so our system, that's it. We've got ourselves a working slime block system. That is just excellent news, really. That is perfect news, because that means that we're not going to be getting melons going everywhere. It's going to be a lossless redstone design. And I'm pretty chuffed with that one, to be honest with you. My first day back on the Hermitcraft server, and we've had a nice chilled out episode, I suppose. I've just been chatting along. I apologise if you found it sort of boring. That's unfortunate, really, because I've had quite a lot of fun today. I'm not going to do too many of these episodes because I'll just run out of things to talk about. But today, it was just nice to slowly get back into the swing of things, not take on any massive projects here. And of course, you know, we've just created a really cool slime block based melon farm, which is going to work wonderfully, I'm sure, in these two sets of modules, and of course it's going to work with pumpkins as well. So that, I suppose, is going to be the plan for the next episode of Hermitcraft. That's what we're going to be building. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.